This is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Cats and Pudding. And today, I have a great guest. My friend, Johnny Tabacco. Here he is. Look at him. Look at this.
Great? Wow, this is super great. You sound like Trump.
I do sound like him. But I didn't use his other favorite word. What's his other favorite?
Huge.
Huge.
Well, I don't want you to call me huge. You know what I mean? I'm fasting right now.
Well, it depends on what context I can call you huge, right? Right?
Not in my weight, but
no.
Yeah, call me huge and anything else you wish.
How are you doing? I'm so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I heard so much about the cats and pudding. And I don't know if I'm the cat or the pudding. But
You're
I'm happy
both,
to
baby.
Be here. Oh, wow.
You're both.
What does that mean, cats and pudding?
It's just, it's like, we talk about everything from cats to pudding, and basically the name came about because I was just sitting in my house one night, eating pudding out of a pot, and like sitting with my cat on my lap, and I'm like, this is what my life has become, cats and pudding. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to call my episode and call my podcast Cats and Pudding.
Is it cute? Killer title.
Is it cute?
You know, like, the psyche of America right now, if you ask me, is, you know, I think the governmental apparatus and the media is trying to divide people so much, but I think people who just connect with other people that are like them and say, like, normal shit, like,
I hope I say normal
cats
shit.
and pudding.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of at the heart of where people need to be when you're trying to talk to audiences. Say, I'm just regular.
You know what? Don't you feel like that now? It's just it's you want to. I think most people are in the middle, right, with the way of thinking. Don't you? Don't you agree with that? And it's just each side. I think that one side is at the point where it's like you have to agree with everything they say, or you're canceled.
No, totally agree with you. As you know, I am on a center-right cable news network.
And what network is that? We can talk.
Well, Newsmax TV. I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
You can say it. You can say whatever you want.
I host a show called Wise Guys, and we kind of take a lighter look at politics. And one of the great things that Newsmax lets me do is go out and do a lot of man on the street. And I go to the Bronx, I go to Nashville, I go to California, I go all over the country and talk to people, red and blue, right? And get the point of view. And then, you know, no matter how you slice it, I'm a half Irish, half Italian kid from Staten Island. So I think my father was a cop, he was a union member, blue collar family. I feel like I understand people, you know? And
well, you understand middle class
regular
people,
you know, not even middle class. I've been working on Wall Street for 30 years. I was president of a public company. I understand billionaires too, but and my father had 50 Section 8 tenants, so I understand the plight of poorer people. Upper, lower middle class, upper, lower class, right? But I would just say to you, Jen, that I always say this. I'm a libertarian. A lot of Americans are probably libertarians, too. They just don't know it. You know, libertarians are kind of like...
I was just going to ask you the definition.
Oh,
Give me a good definition of it.
So, libertarians are like socially liberal, right? So, you want to smoke weed? Smoke weed.
Good.
You want to be gay? We're flying the rainbow flag all the time. You want to have... transgender with reason, with parental support, do whatever you want, right? But on the other side of the coin, we want borders, we want safety, we want good schools, and we want lower taxes and access to capital for businesses, right? So it's like, no one talks about people like me because the government doesn't want us to realize that there's more of us who are socially liberal and fiscally...
I feel like I'm like that too.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm 100%
they don't
that
want
way.
us to be libertarians, right? And I always say, like, I actually ran for New York City Comptroller.
Oh, you did? What year?
In 2021.
Wow.
As the libertarian candidate. So I knew I had no shot of winning, right? Because, like you said, most people don't even know what the heck a libertarian is, right?
But it's a good definition. And
but I wanted to get a set of ideas out there,
Mm-hmm.
which I did. And, I got 3% of the vote. I was right underneath Curtis on the ballot. He got 26% of the vote. But I was the libertarian. He was the Republican, right? But for my show on Newsmax, I have this little shtick that I do, and I say that, in my view, like 10% of the people out there are like all blue, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
really,
Yep.
and 10% of the people out there are like all red.
True.
You know,
I
so
agree
those
with that.
20 I put in my mind as the zealots,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think the other 80 of us have some spots of red and some spots of blue. And I always say, like, if you watch my show, you better be purple, because my people are purple people. And
I'm
there's
purple
like shades,
person.
right? You could
Yes.
you could have like, you could be, listen, I'm Catholic, right? I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic high school, all boys, you know. But I also was like strongly against vaccines,
Mhm.
right? And if the government's trying to force a vaccine into you, then they're taking away my body, my choice. 'cause
Yes,
it's my
that's
body,
true.
right?
Which makes no sense. Is that they're talking about abortion? It's your body, your choice, and then they're forcing you a vaccine on you.
Agreed.
So it's
all right. You can't be both.
you can't be both. You can't be my body, my choice, and then you're
kill babies, kill babies,
Right.
kill babies.
right.
And then at
you're
the same
upset
time
if you're
say,
someone
whoa, you know, so I always say 10% is wacky on the left,
Mm-hmm.
10% is wacky on the right. The other 80, we have different shades of purple.
Yes,
You know, like
we
curtains, these beautiful studio
do. We're
curtains of
purple pilled. Let's be
Yeah.
purple pilled.
But to me, I could be pro weed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And pro gun.
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
I'm Catholic, but I respect a woman's right to
choose.
reproductive health and to choose, right? So I respect that. I'm not like, I'd never be like against it,
Yeah,
right? And I could be pro-choice and pro-gun.
sure.
You,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
It
So
doesn't mean that you have. It's red or blue, and that's it, and
that's
that's
what I
it,
mean.
and that's it.
That's what they want.
Yes. It's
And
true.
I think if you really sat down like we are right now,
Mhm.
and that's why Cats and Pudding is so
Yes.
amazing.
It's a purple set. See,
yeah.
we're in the
If
purple
you
realm.
have, if I would say most people we know
Mm-hmm.
that are sane, right,
Yes.
are probably closer to the purple people
Yes.
than they are to the all red and all blue people.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I always say, if you watch Wise Guys, you better be a purple people, because I like both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
I go to the pro-Israel
Mhm.
protests, and I go to the pro-Hamas protests, and I'm with Trump.
Yeah.
Trump's the most pro-Israel president ever, and I know Israel's our greatest ally in the Middle East. But when I go out to these things for my show, I want America to know that I'm willing and able
to listen.
to hear both sides of the coin. Then I throw all that crap out there,
Yeah.
and I let America decide.
Don't you feel that that's been a problem over the last 10 years? That I feel that we used to be able to talk to one another normally, and now over the last 10 years, it's like nobody can sit and listen. And it comes from both sides. It's not just, it's both, I mean, the left is worse than the right, but there is no, you can't sit and have a conversation with somebody anymore. Because if you don't agree with what they say, if it's like, oh, you're not with me, that you don't agree with me, you're not with me, and that's it. There's no debate, there's no exchange of ideas anymore. It's just black or white, or red or blue, I should say.
I agree with you, Jen. And, you know,
Is that frustrating?
it's massively frustrating. And I would just say, like, I know you're married. I'm not. You might have a girlfriend. Right?
Well, I'm not married anymore, but
Okay. All right. Well, you've been married.
I've been married, yes.
Okay. I'm 0 for 2 on wives. You know what I mean? So, but both of them are fantastic people. I have 3 amazing kids with my
I have 3
second
kids too.
wife. And, well, our daughters actually share names.
Yes.
Victoria's and
I can't believe
it's
that.
unbelievable.
You both have
right?
a Victoria and an Ava.
That's unbelievable.
Crazy.
I
And
know.
both, right, and your middle one is Victoria.
But I would say, like, in a relationship, right? If a topic comes up with the other person that you have to resort to saying, you know what? Let's not talk about that. Let's leave that out, right? And you guys are probably dead in the long run if there's something you can't talk about. And I feel like the media, the mainstream media, the legacy media, they want to make sure that our conversations between red people and blue people and purple people, they get dead at. Let's not talk to that anymore because they want to destroy those relationships. They don't want us to go out and kibitz a little bit and have a few drinks and say, oh, you know what? I never really thought about it that way, Jen, but I see your point of view as a Democrat. And I know you're not a Democrat, but you know what I mean? They don't want us to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
They want us to be
divided.
Completely. Yeah.
That's the Napoleon. Divide
I would
and conquer.
say divided is a word that's used, but I would say segregated. You know what I'm saying? They want to segregate. They want to put us in quarantine. Like, stay away from each other. Don't listen to their shit, and don't let them hear your shit.
And they want to break up the family because it's easier for them to take control too.
Well, in the Communist Manifesto, which Antifa and Black Lives Matter followed, and they were outwardly honest about it. One of the top things is to break up the nuclear family. They don't, like, the nuclear family is annoying to them. You know, and I'm half Italian. I got 2 right off the boat Italian grandfathers. And I got 2 right off the boat Irish grandmothers.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so I'm Italian and Irish. I can drink with the best of them. I can eat with the best of them. That's
why you're so handsome, because you're Irish and Italian.
Oh, you humbling, Jen. But I'm just saying, I'm proud of both. I always say, you know, people, you know, your illustrious, sometimes co-host, Ms. Narucci, also said that my name sounded like a mob nickname, you know what I mean, to Johnny Tabacco, you know, is that a real name or a stage name? But
what is your last name?
Tabacco.
That's your real last name?
Yeah, I mean.
No, it's not. Is it really?
Hold on. My suits, where the hell's my name in this suit? My name's in this suit somewhere. But
that's your real last name is Tabacco. It sounds like a stage name.
Look. Can you see that or no?
But you could just put it in there.
Okay. So you want to see my driver's license?
Yeah, I want to see your driver's license.
Here we go.
I want to see your driver's license.
This bitch right here. Hold on.
I want to see it.
Here's my passport card. That's even better than my driver's license.
They got you to pay for the shit?
Whatever. It's good to have when you're abroad, you know.
When you're
abroad or abroad? Abroad. I mean the one word, abroad.
It is. It's Johnny Tabacco. It is. I don't want to show you my.
Is that good? You want that? You want that day? You want to zoom in on that? Yeah, don't give out my address and my social security number. But now listen, my name is John Tabacco.
You're proud of your heritage.
I'm proud of it, but what I was saying, I'm Italian and Irish. I always say I got the O at the end instead of the beginning.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, oh, this guy, and this is how I dress. Working on Wall Street for 30 years, I wear pinstripe suits, I wear window pane. You know, I like to get dressed. I leave my house in the morning, I get dressed, I fix my hair, I shave, and then I go, boom, we're going to go out and do something good today. Like, I feel like kids these days don't even know how to get dressed up and feel good. They got their bangs down to here, their nose. And even my son, he's 19. I go, get a haircut. I want to see your eyebrows. You want to wear this coif? Just hang it down to here. If it's down past your eyebrows, haircut.
But don't you feel like that also happened after COVID? Everybody was home during COVID and working from home, and everybody lost that want to go into the office, to go to work, to get dressed, to go mingle with coworkers. That I feel affected the society so badly.
Also part of the Communist Manifesto that they want people to rely on government.
Right.
They want you to stay home, be lazy, do whatever the government says so that your check cashes every month. So I think, you know, I don't want to go crazy because I love cats and pudding, and I know it's not all about politics, but
it's okay. It's you know, we're talking about social issues, but I agree with that, and I think that we're more alike, all of us, than we're disalike, and what the government's trying to do is be like point out our differences more than our likenesses. You know, because I consider myself, and I don't like to talk about my political background, I just don't because I have a business, but I consider myself in the middle. I'm for common sense. I'm for somebody speaking the truth. I'm for facts. I'm not for, you know, and I'm not for craziness all the way to the left, and I'm not for craziness
So
all
we're
the way
the
to the
same.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
purple.
we're purple people.
Let's go.
We're
Let's stick
purple.
with it.
I am my whole
I
office.
think most of America are purple.
I
people.
agree with that.
If you just sat down people who had the balls to say how they really feel,
Mhm.
I think most people are like, you know, on like simple issues like, not simple, but you know, on simples like choice and women's reproductive health and like smoking marijuana or being gay or even being transgender. Hey, you know, I'm 56 years old.
Mhm.
I know plenty of transgender guys or girls. You know what I mean? Who literally went both ways.
Mhm.
But no, I know people over the years that decided that's what they are, right? And in my neighborhood in Staten Island, the kids that were a little faggy and the kids that were like dressing up like girls when we know they were boys, when the kids from the other neighborhood came around and bullied them, we chased their asses out of our town. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there was a different time. I grew up in a white area of Staten Island, middle class area of Staten Island, but we had black kids, we had Spanish kids, we had Chinese kids, and our clique was everyone.
Yeah.
We played stickball, we played
But isn't
Salugi,
that how New
you
York
know what
is
I mean?
anyway?
And yeah, but
New
I'm
York
saying
is- we're a melting pot
we
of
would
people.
kick the shit out of the guys from the other neighborhood if they picked on one of the nerdy, you know, like little bit of fairy kids or something. We'd go after them to beat their ass in. You know, we would stick up for those kids. So my mind is, you know, my parents were very connected to the community. My mom runs a nonprofit called the World of Women for like 25 years, which she founded. My dad was a cop. He was the president of the local Little League, president of the local Pee Wee Football League. And they told us, listen, we're all the friggin' same.
Yeah.
And
We're all born alone, we die alone.
we're blessed.
Yeah.
So everything you do that brings you in more blessings, make sure to give back to the community. So I kind of, I don't want to get tears in my eyes because my father's
Aw.
passed, but my father was a tough-ass cop,
Mhm.
but he always used to tell us, like, you know, in Pee Wee football, you got like some black kids on the team and stuff, and they just throw the water bottles out there on a timeout, and, you know, when you're young, you're like, oh, can I drink out of that water bottle? You know, and my father said, hey, when that water comes out there, you drink it. You guys are all the same. Just shut up. You know what I mean? So, and cops are sometimes predisposed to, you know, not love minority people, but my father went out of his way to tell us that, hey, we're all the same in here. And thankfully I grew up, I'm blessed that
He
my
never
parents,
he didn't want you to be a cop, was he,
nah.
he wasn't upset that you went down
I
a
actually
different path?
I really wanted to be like my dad. He's my idol in life, and I wanted to be like him. I actually took the cops test when I was like 19, and I was in college in St. John's University. And then my father was like, all right, trust me when I tell you, that's not what you want to do. This job, and this is like, you know, 37 years ago. My father was like, the job ain't the same. You don't want to be a cop. So that was short-lived. But I thought about it because I always idolized my father and all his friends. And I used to be the bat boy for the NYPD softball team.
When they used to play against the fire department?
Yeah. Can I tell you one story? that'll
I'd
make
love
you
to hear
laugh?
a story, go ahead.
So my father was in the 6th precinct in the village, okay? And they had, the precinct had a killer softball team, right? And there was a gay softball league right down there in the park, right in the village and everything, and all these teams. And they had some great players, like former college players who were women, but they were like lesbians, and men, but they were like gay. And every year, they used to have a game with the cops from the precinct against the all-star team from the gay league, right? And I'll never forget this. I talked about this at the Blue Lives Matter dinner. And the precinct used to put flyers out that said, come to the park on Saturday, cops versus queers. That's what the game was called. The cops versus the queers. And all the gay bars had these plastered in their windows, and there was a whole thing, and they would play, they would have a great game. And then afterwards they would go, I'll never forget, Badlands. You ever hear of Badlands in the village? It's like the low-down, dirtiest gay bar, like, you know. And all the cops and all the queers used to go to Badlands and drink beers, eat pretzels, hang out, and I was always like, that could never happen today. The game to be called the cops versus the queers, but everyone would go crazy. You know what I mean? So
Well, they wouldn't want them to try to get along together. They would want to separate them. The cops are bad.
That's what I mean.
LGBTQ community doesn't like them, or they're prejudiced, or whatever it is. So
1,000,000%.
that's what happened. And it's funny that we went backwards instead of forwards.
I agree.
And it's not because of the people. It's because of the media did that, and they're implanting it on people. I feel like that's what's going on. You know, that they're the ones who are perpetuating. You know, Morgan Freeman. I was watching I don't know if you saw the interview with him, and the guy from CNN. He was interviewing him. He was like talking about racism. He goes, well, how do we stop this? He goes, stop talking about it. He goes, he says, I'm a man, you're a man. He says, stop talking about it. You're perpetuating it. What are you doing here? And it's so true, you know. And I feel it also, and everybody who's come to this country had a hard time coming here. It wasn't easy for anybody. It wasn't easy for Italians. It wasn't easy for Irish. It wasn't easy for anybody who came over here. You know, nobody it was easy for. My father, I'm second generation America. He lived in tenements. He had no running water. It was the Lower East Side. I mean, you know, and you know what? He was proud that he became an American, and he fought the war. He fought Korean War, you know, and he was built in a generation. He went from having nothing, their family had nothing when they came here, to successful children, had a successful business, you know. So it's, who doesn't want the American dream? And it is possible for people. They want to kill the American dream.
I'm with you. My grandfather, Angelo Archipoli, emigrated here from Italy, and my whole family and myself grew up on the Lower East Side too. I grew up in Knickerbocker Village, which was, you know, all Italians and Irish people.
Yeah. Talk about poor.
Yeah, I mean, look, I never felt poor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even my grandfather was in the printers union. My dad was a policeman. You know what I mean? My mom was a private investigator, and then she had like a side party business. So even, you know, I'm third generation, I guess, you know, but my grandfather, I always felt like we were in the better half of the people that were even in our class, because my grandpa was smart, he saved, he was responsible, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I never felt poor. You know, some people go on and say, wow, we had one can of beans for 7 people, and we walked through 7 feet of snow to go to school.
I walked to school uphill both ways with no shoes.
I'm blessed. Me, my 2 brothers, and all the siblings and children that we've spawned since then, we're blessed. You know, my grandparents and my parents did that for us.
Yeah, that's the way. I mean, I feel like that we're blessed too. My father, you know, always wanted us to all have an education. He never went to school, so it was a big deal for him for us to all go to college. And we all did, and we did.
I was the first kid in my family to go to college. Me.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to St. John's University.
I'm
a red storm. I used to be a red man, but you know that became politically incorrect, so now I'm a red storm. But
did you play sports or no?
I played in high school. I played football and hockey, but in college I pretty much worked. I started working on Wall Street in 1987 while I was in school. So
every time I think of 1987, I think of Gordon Gekko. I think of that.
Yeah, one of the biggest crashes in America.
Oh my God!
So,
I know. Do you miss Wall Street?
I still work on it.
You're still there?
Yeah.
But not full time.
The Newsmax thing is no, that's my full time.
That
job.
is your full time.
The Newsmax thing is my
part time. Yeah. And so how do you so how did you get involved with the Newsmax? Like, how it all come about?
No, well, I've been on Wall Street most of my life, and you know, my particular area of the market is kind of nuanced. And CNBC reached out to me one time, like in 2005, and they were like, "Hey, we need a guy who." I knew someone there who could talk about this, that, and I was like, "All right, whatever." I was actually hosting a community television show in Staten Island with sometimes WABC favorite, Frank Morano, okay? And I was like, yeah, all right, fine, I could do TV. I think I could do TV. And I started going on CNBC as a business contributor.
Right.
And started doing well, and I was not liberal enough for them, so I hooked up with Fox Business. Then I was on Fox News for like 7 years, and then Chris Ruddy and Newsmax like started to bump up, and they were just getting started in 15, and Chris Ruddy said, "Hey, I'll give you, you're a contributor. I'll give you a shot at having your own show," and they were even unknown then, very little.
Well, now they're big. Now they went.
But I left Fox to go to Newsmax, and I've been there ever since. Thank God.
And it's a big network now. I mean, a lot of people have.
You're getting there.
It's getting there.
I think we're making an impact on Fox's ratings. We're one of the only cable news networks whose ratings and audience are going up
Instead of down.
And people get rid of cable also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Newsmax and they're getting creative. They have streaming stuff now, and to me, I'm in it to win.
And when do you want it? You're on the
on Saturday nights at 10 o'clock. I'm on Sunday nights at 11:30, and I do 5 or 6 hits during the week on different stuff.
Do you go into the studio, or do you do it from home?
No, my Wise Guys show we tape at Sparks Steakhouse.
Oh, that's so cool.
So yeah, we do that.
I love that.
We do that on Wednesdays and it airs on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So,
And you do, and so I know we talked about also about you were interested in we were talking about the beauty business that you might be interested in.
Oh yeah.
In doing that,
Yeah. Well, look, I'm working on my own line of hair products right now, the Guido Secret.
I love that.
I got some Whopper products about to come out. This may look
pun
like
intended, WAP.
This may look like I have a decent amount of hair, but I don't.
It looks good.
But TV magic is in play, and I've learned things over the years from being on TV that not every guy wants to put all this hair product in his hair every day, but going to a wedding or a reunion or a party, you want to look super good. I'm coming out with, the way guys could easily, soup themselves up a little.
But that's okay, and I think guys now today are doing more for themselves, like women. I know we had the discussion about women, how they'll some of them get crazy with. And I'm in the beauty business too,
man.
with the lips and the this and then that. I know I have to turn people away. Believe me, I turn them away.
I see these chicks; their lips are out past their nose. They got the Brazilian butt lift. You know what I mean? I knew them 4 years ago. They had a flat ass. Now their ass is like 3 feet. They got junk in the trunk. Their lips are past their schnozzle, and then all of a sudden, they're like, "What?"
And they're like, "I didn't do anything." Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and now
they didn't get that from squats.
How about all my brethren? And I wouldn't say all, but a lot of guys now, like I know guys that are on Ozempic, right?
Yeah.
And they're losing weight, and then I hear like from these little cliques of chicks I'm with that I hang out with that they say, "Oh, he's on Ozempic. He's on Ozempic." Wait a minute.
So are you.
Yeah, no, number one, they should have to wear like the Scarlet Letter. Like they should have to wear a pin with the O on it. Like, but like they're knocking guys for being on Ozempic. Meantime, their lips are out to here, their butts are out to here, their bras are out to here, right? But look, I think men have just as much right to soup up their appearance and their confidence as women do.
I agree.
Women feel good with their lips out, and I'm joking around, but if they feel good with their lips out and their butts out and everything else,
listen, if it makes you feel good,
whatever makes
if it makes you
feel
happy,
good,
I agree.
right?
I mean, for me as a person who's injecting, I don't want somebody to walk out looking like that because that's my work.
Right.
I kind of tell people, this is good enough, this looks good. I give them a little zhuzh. And I want to give you a little zhuzh.
I was just going to say, when you look at this train wreck right here,
a train wreck.
What do you see? Do you think I need a little zhuzh?
We all need a little zhuzh. A little zhuzh.
Give me like a quick Give me a
quick?
quick consult here,
Okay.
and then I'll come see you.
You're gonna come see me?
Well,
If you like my
if
consult.
I like your consult right now, I'll consider it. So
I don't love
what
to
would,
do.
What would you
a
do
lot
to
on
me,
guys.
Jen?
Well, I don't like to do a lot on guys. What I say to guys, we do Botox, not Botox, Botox. So it's lighter, and you're gonna still have some movement. It's gonna be softer, like the lines on the forehead and a little bit around the eyes, but it's gonna look natural. You're not gonna look like you were wind blown like Joan Rivers. You're gonna look nice and just a little zhuzh. I
So
always
you
say a
subtly
little zhuzh.
telling me you want to
Subtle.
take care of the lines in my
Yes.
forehead.
Yes.
And you want to take care of the crow's
Crow's
feet on the
feet.
side
So a
of
little
my
crow's
eyes.
feet, a little
But
glabella.
that's all you see
I
right
see
there.
maybe a little.
Maybe you want a
something
little right here and it's
Yeah,
not
just
all
a little
A little
soften
bit.
it,
All right.
just to soften it.
All right.
And I think that would look great on you.
I'm
Come
willing.
on.
I'm willing to think about it. How about this? For my show, Wise Guys, I'm like completely open with my audience. They
Okay.
know I have hair replacements. They know that I'm somewhat out of shape, but I've been fasting.
You
No,
look
I'm
great.
just saying. But I'm honest with my audience. How about if I come for a consultation?
Okay,
I bring my camera.
I would love
And you
that.
give me the console.
I love
And
that.
then if I decide to do it, we record it.
I
And
would
then
love
I
that.
show my audience the before and after.
Your journey, your Botox journey, your Botox
yeah,
journey.
yeah, my
I love that.
Botox journey.
I
I might
love your
start that podcast now, my Botox journey.
I love it. I think it would be great. I would love to
I'm
do that.
willing
for
to
you.
do it. Me and you will
All
set
right,
it up.
let's
I'd
do it.
love
I love it. I
I'd
love
love to
it.
see what you think could make me look better.
And just a little zhuzh. That's it. Just a little refresh.
Could you just, I know we gotta get going, but could you just define zhuzh?
A zhuzh is a little sprinkle. It's just a little refresher. So if somebody looks at you and goes, "Wow, did you have a good night's sleep? Did
You
you
got
go
a
on
zhuzh.
vacation?"
You got zhuzh.
That's a zhuzh. It's a zhuzh. That's it. Just somebody will look at you. They won't know what you did, but they like you look good. They don't know why. They think that
Got it.
sleep could be just just not work. Maybe taking a vacation, whatever it is. Zhuzh.
Alright, I'm willing to come in, consult,
Love
and I
it.
have a feeling
You
that
heard
you're
that,
gonna talk
everybody.
me
He's gonna
into-
come.
I have a feeling you're gonna talk me into a zhuzh.
Yes, I'm talking him into a judge. So tell everybody where to find you and give them your social media and
I thought you were gonna say give me my social security
give your
number.
social security
Damn,
number
right,
and
yeah,
your
yeah.
ATM
Nah, hey,
card.
listen, you can find me on Twitter at Johnny Tabacco. I'm out there. If you go to my Twitter, you'll figure out everything else about it. But I'm not here for shameless, gratuitous promotion. I came to as your friend
Aw, I love
to be
that.
part of your show. And if anyone out there learned anything from this show from me, I'm happy to be part of it.
And I love that you came here today to spend a little time with me. I love it.
By the way, my girlfriend was like, "What? You're driving into Manhattan to be on a girl who does Botox podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Why? Why can't you Zoom it? Why are you driving into Manhattan?" He said, "Shut up already. I'm driving because she's my friend and
Aw.
she's Sid's friend. And I got other meetings that I set up because we scheduled it.
I
And
so appreciate it.
she's supportive. She
Thank
was busting my balls.
I'm sure. I'm sure she is. If she's with you, I'm sure she's supportive of women. She's supportive of what you do.
It's
And
a
I
whole
love
nother
that.
podcast.
And you bring
That's
her
a whole
with,
nother
bring her
pod.
with you.
Oh, yeah.
Bring her with you if you want to come in when
She's
you
a
do
former
show.
Golden Gloves boxer, so I can never say any of this in front of her.
She'll kick your
She'll knock
ass.
the shit out of me.
So she's got you in check. Aw, well, I'm so glad you came on my show today.
This is
I
great.
appreciate it,
So
and I love to have you back again.
when you call me, I am here.
I love it.
I was so excited to be on, as you know.
I know.
I called you last Monday. I
called
said,
me
"What
last-
time today?" You're like, "No,
I'm like,
Jen.
no, John,
No,
it's
Johnny.
next
That's
week."
next week." I'm like, "Okay."
I
all right.
got scared because I thought I told you the wrong.
I didn't
week.
want to miss it. My schedule gets so crazy sometimes, and I just had Monday in my head. So
Well, I'm glad you came and I'm glad you made it here. So I
Jen,
appreciate it. Thank you so
you're
much
the
for
bomb.
coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. And for Old School, we're going to talk about my sponsor because we have a great sponsor, Dolce Bean Cafe, right in Ridgewood, Queens. For Old School Italian Cafe in the heart of Ridgewood, Queens, you want to try Dolce Bean Cafe. They serve the best espresso, cappuccino, latte. You got to come. By the way, Johnny, it's great. Paninis,
You should let me do Wise
Italian
Guys
pastry.
from there.
I
should
would
let me
love
do
for
an
you
episode
to.
from there.
We're gonna have Johnny Tabacco do Wise Guys from
I
there.
will.
So you come get gelato, delicious cannolis from Big John's. You're gonna love it. Dolce Bean Cafe. Everybody have a great day, And so keep it tuning in.